Hey everybody, it's Miss Williams, and this is solving systems of equations using technology. This is Unit 0, and this is video number 3. So a system of equations is just two or more equations, and when you solve them graphically, you're just determining where they intersect each other. There are several different types of answers you could get. First, you could get one solution, and that's where these two linear graphs intersect at the point 2, 2. So if you look, we have two linear equations right here. Remember, lines, that's one of our parent functions, and they're intersecting at the point 2, 2. All right, so that would be one solution to a system of equations. The next way, you could have two or more solutions. So think about what a quadratic would look like and a linear equation. And many times a quadratic and a linear equation will intersect at two different points. Now they don't have to, but in this case they did. They intersected at point -2, 4 and 1.5 and 2.25. And finally, the third thing that could happen would be a no solution. So this could be a cubic function and a square root function, and the way these two functions have been represented, they will never intersect each other. And this is what that would look like: cubic on the left, square root on the right. Hope these are parent functions that you recognize, because you will need to know them on the test next Friday or Thursday. How do we use technology to find the solutions of a system? Well, here's your steps for the calculator, and you should write these down. First thing you need to do is push the y equals button on the top left corner. Put one equation in y1 and the other one in y2. Hit the graph button at the top right corner to see the graph. Observe how many intersection points you have. If you only have one intersection point, it's real easy. You just hit second trace, number 5, and then hit enter 3 times. If you have a second intersection point that you need, which you don't always need, you'll need to hit second trace, number 5, and hit enter twice. Before you hit enter the third time, you'll need to move the cursor closer to the second intersection point and then enter one more time. If you don't move the cursor closer to the second intersection point, then what's going to happen, it'll continue to give you the same point over and over again. It will never give you the second one. So what I've done here is I've shown you what this is going to look like when you use the calculator in class. There's the y equals button. That's what you're going to hit first. You're going to put one equation in y1, one equation in y2. I've used a quadratic and a linear function right here. And next thing that's going to happen, you're going to hit the graph button on the top right corner to see what your graph is and observe how many intersection points you have. So the graph button's over here on the right hand side, and as you can see, this is a quadratic and a linear, and it hits in two different spots. To find that first intersection point, you're going to hit the second button, which is right here. Then you hit the trace button, which is right there, and then you can hit the number 5. Then you proceed to hit enter 3 times, and it'll give you the answer at the bottom of the page. To get your second intersection point, if you need it, you do the same thing, but now you're going to have to move your cursor. So you're going to hit second trace, number 5, and hit enter once, and it'll say first curve, and it'll say enter twice, and it'll say second curve. And then when it says guess, don't hit enter again, but you're going to move the cursor left or right until you get to closer to the second intersection point, and then hit enter one more time, and it'll give you your answer. We're going to practice these in class, and I will see you then.